If you didn't know, part of ChatGPT's recent update is the addition of pets. I'm pretty sure this is a direct response to Claude Code's Buddy. If you don't know what that is, it is that guy. And when Anthropic had introduced Claude Code, which is basically Claude in your terminal or in your command line interface, Buddy was just kind of there, and he's kind of taken a whole life of his own and commercials and all kinds of stuff. And I think that OpenAI is just like, well, okay, you have one pet, but we're going to give you lots of pets. So I think this is their response to Buddy, but I might be way off on that. Anyway, they had a pretty big update recently, and this is just chatgpt.com, and then you log in and you get here, and now part of the big change is that you have chat and work interfaces here, and that's other videos for other days. But now if you come down to click on the icon in the bottom left and you get your normal menu here and you go to personalization, and then from here you stay on personalization and then you scroll down a little bit, and on the right you have a pet section. And if you click on where it says default, you get a new menu here. And your default pet, when you scroll down, it's actually just set to do not show pet. But as you look here, you have a bunch of different kind of default pets that are, OpenAI's version of their buddy. And you can look through and you have like your blue screen of death pet, and you have a Null Signal and Stacky and Seedy. You can upload your own pet if you want. I'll click on that just so you can kind of see what's in there. You can give it a name and then give it a description if you want, up to 500 characters. And then you have to upload a sprite sheet. Sprites are basically, if you're familiar with, video games or creating video games, you have to actually put sprite sheets when you have characters. That's a whole different video series. But basically, if you have a pet that you want to add on here, you have to have like a transparent PNG, so like an image of whatever it is with a transparent background, or WebP. It has to be exactly 1536 by 1872 pixels and no more than 20 meg. If you don't know what any of that means, then you're not going to upload a pet, or you're going to have to get someone to make that for you, because you're going to need to know what that is, how to make it, how to make the background transparent, how to make sure it's exactly that size, how to make sure there's a lot of how to make sures in there. So if what I just said made sense to you, then you could upload your own pet. If not, then I would stick to one of these, or you could actually click here to have ChatGPT create a pet. And what that looks like is, where are you? So you click on that and it'll just go to this help me set up my pet, and it'll give you kind of this screen, and it'll ask you one of these questions like, do you want to create a custom pet, choose a built-in pet, or describe a pet idea? And so let's see. So if you create a custom pet, and this is the new work interface, by the way, that's why it has this output and sources over here. So if you haven't seen this yet, this is part of their new interface. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to scan whatever information it has about you. And that could be memories, that could be past chats, that could be whatever you have in there. And then it's going to start asking you different questions based off of what it knows about you or thinks it knows about you. And then it'll shape whatever your custom pet is. So your options are going to be very different based off of, what you've done in here. But this is just kind of, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's just, again, your experience will be very different from this. But you go back and forth with whichever model you have selected, and it will ask you questions to shape what your pet is going to look like. You can kind of front load this, and you can just say, hey, I want to create me a pet, and then give it these characteristics. I want it to be, goat wearing sunglasses, well, like whatever you want. Like it doesn't really matter, but just make it something that could actually be, turned into a pet. And then if you kind of look at what they have in here as examples, it's like you look, this is about the size and this is about the level of detail. So if you just go into like this really intricate whatever thing, like it's not going to be able to make a little like tiny cartoon pet out of that. So just kind of think about these and just what sort of thing you might want. But once you have your pet, what it basically does with it is when you use the new work interface, the pet will be it'll be attached to any kind of status updates. So if you're not familiar with the work interface, you can basically give ChatGPT some kind of outcome that you want, and it could take hours or days to go through. And sometimes it'll have kind of stopping points where it's just like either it needs you to review something or it has a question for you or something, some kind of status thing. And instead of just having a message there, it'll have like your little pet will be here and then it'll say, "Hey, I need you. I'm waiting for you for this little thing." And it just kind of lightens, I don't know, lightens the mood. And it's not just, this wall of text all the time. So yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's much else to that. This is less about, productivity, and it's kind of just more lighthearted and just kind of put some kind of, positive, enjoyable piece to just like creating work and doing all this other nonsense. So back to one. ChatGPT has added pets. Again, I think it's a direct response to Anthropic and Claude Code's buddy, but who knows? But either way, they have pets. These are the ones that they have built in. You can choose one of them. You can upload your own if you follow their parameters. You can use whichever model to actually create one in here. But you can use the pets to basically give you different status updates as you're working on things. Uh, the new work interface is meant to be used way more than like one-off questions with the chatbot side of it. So it's like you will spend a ton of time in there. If you've used any kind of agent, so like OpenClaw or Hermes agent, or maybe you've like coded your own agents in like a LangChain or Pydantic, or just there's hundreds of options. But like if you've used any kind of AI agent, you know that the tasks aren't just 5 minutes and done. Like you could have tasks to go for 5 days, 5 weeks, and there's just a lot of back and forth. So I think the pets are just a way to kind of make things kind of light, and just kind of when there's some kind of update or status or whatever thing, it's just like, again, it's just kind of a light and just fun way to have you interact and not just always have a wall of text. If that's something that's interesting to you, I strongly recommend checking it out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.